Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life. Welcome back to another episode of Next to Madison. I am your host, Madison Malloy, and on today's episode, we are talking about the difference between mindset and body set. So this episode is focused on the importance of getting your body into the right frame of body, I want to say frame of mind, to be able to reach your goals and your manifestations, and also just to have a more peaceful life. So I have got an amazing author, TEDx speaker, and the founder of the Power of Gesture, who is on to talk about this very thing. She gives some great tips and tricks of how to calm yourself right away and how to really just expand the energy that's trapped within you. We talk about a lot of forms of intelligence and her journey. It's a very inspirational interview that's got some tips and tricks that you can use today to set yourself on the path to success. So we will be right back after this brief message with our guest on Next to Madison. Hi, it's your host, Madison Malloy. For those of you who don't know, I've written and created a powerful collection of books to help you build confidence, shift your mindset, and attract the life you truly want. From Time to Lighten the F Up to Affirm and Flourish, Color Your Way to Abundance, and more. These aren't just books, they're tools for transformation. Grab a copy now on Amazon or at madisonmalloy.com. Now back to the show. All right, we are back with our amazing guest on this very exciting episode of Next to Madison. I have got author, TEDx speaker, and founder of the Power of Gesture, Jen Axe, in the house. Well, I would, say in the house, but this one's virtual because she's in New York and I've taken myself out of New York. So welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh my God, it's so great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you on. I watched your TED Talk. It was unbelievable. And so many people talk about mindset, but you're really into like the body set. So tell us a little bit about kind of how you got to this journey that you're on right now. Like, what was the background?
Wow. I mean, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm a big fan of you. I was like doing a deep dive and like, yes, 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 on every level. And I just love your joy and the humor and the comedy with all the depth that you bring. So thank you for your work.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah. And thank you for this question. It's such an important one. We'll get to the body set and really defining that, but it is essential. And in my opinion, the missing half and in the hidden intelligence that we all need to pay attention to. So how did I get to come to really understand body set? So the backstory is it started in school when I struggled a lot because everything was presented in a very linear, mathematical, logical way. Yeah. Intelligence was defined by an SAT score. And I just didn't do well at all on those tests. And because nobody told me that was okay, I created a story about myself that I wasn't smart. And so I carried this weight with me for close to 2 decades. And it was heavy and it was difficult. And I turned away from so many opportunities because I didn't think I belonged at the table. I didn't think I belonged in the room. I didn't think I was worthy enough. So it was quite the journey. But throughout that entire time, I danced. I was a dancer. I was a professional dancer in my 20s. I've been a dance educator for over 30 years. Dance has been a big part of my life. But in my early teens, I had no idea the role that dance was playing until I had my kind of rock bottom moment in my late 20s where I was invited to dinner with John F. Kennedy Jr. and his wife, Caroline Bessette. Yes, I know, you give the big like, I know. And you know what's ironic? At the time, the reason I was invited was because my boyfriend at the time, who was a Harvard grad, which was like, okay, I was struggling with intelligence here, yet Harvard grad and Princeton undergrad, and I was just like, but he grew up with John F. Kennedy Jr. Their families were friends. So we were invited to this dinner, just the four of us. And when I got the invitation, I froze and my whole body just completely shut down. And I was a mess. And I was like, I don't belong here. What am I going to say to this guy? And I'm never going to measure up. So I didn't go. But it was that experience that really brought me to my knees. And I was just so disappointed in myself. I was so upset that I had allowed society to define me. And I was ready to turn it around. So I was like, that's it. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to figure this out because I'm definitely better than this. And that's when I came into all of this research around the multiple forms of intelligence. And there are 9 that are defined and researched and taught, but one that I gravitated to, which is kinesthetic intelligence, which is the physical body's ability to be able to process, learn, and communicate through movement. And I was like, of course, I'm a kinesthetic learner. I'm a dancer, I've been
Yeah.
dancing this is how so dance had like saved me, but I didn't understand the power of it until I dove into all of this research. So I started to really lean into the body and understand the power of it and the intelligence that it is. And that led me to somatic intelligence and emotional intelligence. So these forms, these 3 forms of intelligence that we all innately have are connected to our body in different layers and different ways, and we can talk about that. But the point is that I really started through this research, I began restoring my worthiness and my
That's
ability to
amazing.
communicate and learn and all of that. And that started this journey of this connection to the body and body
Yeah.
set. Yeah, much more there. I'm going to pause. I just gave you a chunk of stuff.
Yeah. No, I love that because I feel like, yeah, I think we're waking up more now, but
Yes.
just how we are so programmed. It's not just our families at a young age. Like it is society
Oh, yeah.
constantly telling us we're not pretty enough, we're not rich enough, we're
Right.
not smart enough.
Yeah.
And so many people believe it.
Mm.
And you really don't kind of wake up from that bullshit until later in life
Yeah.
when you realize, like, wow, like none of this is that important. And we all have a purpose and to do our best, and it's all going to end anyways,
Right.
you
Ah,
know? But it
doomsday.
yeah, yeah. No, but I mean that in like a good way.
Yeah.
I'm a
Right.
religious person, so for me it's like, you earn your
Mhm.
place over there. But
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
I think it's yeah, it's just so sad how people just don't have the self-worth. I mean, for years and years, like in my 20s and early 30s, my self-worth was completely determined on the amount of money I could make. And as
Right.
an artist, I wasn't making a lot of money, so
Yeah.
therefore my self-worth was in the toilet. And so everything between my mind and then my body was obviously always just tight and then, just stressed
Right.
was, trying to make that make it big so the world would see me. So I could, and I used to say this line all the time. It makes me so sad to say it again, but I used to say, I just want to be someone.
Oh,
I said that all the time. And I remember I had a great manager and he was like, "You are somebody."
my-
And I said, "Well, no, I'm not. I'm not rich."
right.
And then he asked me, he said, "Well, do you think that people that don't have money are less than?" I said, "No." And he goes, "Then why do you feel that about yourself?" It was like I needed this validation that,
Yeah.
I was somebody and that and so I constantly lived like that. And my body was just always under stress, always.
I'm just curious, did that message come from society or parents? Or if you don't want to say it, you don't have to, but I'm just,
I'm not sure. I mean,
yeah.
I loved my grandmother to death, but I felt that she looked at people that had more money as a little bit,
Right.
above.
Hmm.
And, for me, it's like, I wanted her to see me as the best and be so approved. My parents, not so much. But her
Wow.
for sure. And it wasn't a fault of her own. That wasn't her. But I think growing up in the Depression, they just have a different
Yeah.
sense of things where I'm
Mindset.
like, God, thank God I didn't grow up in the gold or the what was it called again? The Gilded Age.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah, so I think and when that finally went away, that's when everything happened.
For you.
It's like, yeah, the
Yeah.
career started taking off, the money started coming in, everything just started to go because it was all of a sudden my self-worth wasn't tied to something external. It
Mm.
was finally coming from me.
Mm.
But
I
it
want
took
to
some
learn
time
about
to
that
get
about you,
there.
like what you did there.
Yeah.
Um, we have
It's
to
a
have a whole
lot of a lot of
a lot of
audiobooks, a
stuff.
lot of reading, a lot of
Well,
going to prayer.
Yeah. I mean, that is why I'm on the mission that I'm on, because I want to awaken this for people. I'm not fixing or teaching anything. I'm reminding people and helping people restore the innate intelligence within themselves that they're not told about. I certainly wasn't. And as I talk about this more and more, people are like, oh, yeah, me too. SATs, I did terrible. I thought I wasn't worthy. I mean, the root of that, that's why high school students and college students, I want to get to them before they're 40, 50
Yes.
years old. Because the thing is, when we restore and understand these intelligence systems, not just kinesthetic, but emotional is a power tool. This is like the future of our leadership. When we have that connection to our emotional intelligence, which, by the way, is two parts. It's interpersonal and intrapersonal. Basically, it's the inner, like knowing of your own emotions, being able to manage them, being able to move through them with grace, and having the awareness of others. I mean, this is what makes great leaders. When you create a team of a space that people trust and
Yeah.
feel like they can be vulnerable and come to you and say, I love this. This lights me up. Oh, I don't really love that. And they feel safe and they tell you, and then your team thrives. I mean, this is the key, especially with AI and all the technology expanding. Emotional intelligence is huge. So I say that because speaking to high school students and college students is a big part of my mission, because I want them to know this before they get out there so they can go lead on campuses and understand what that power is within them.
No, it's so true. Yeah. And I feel like it's so funny because I feel like I know my issues didn't start till I was in my 20s. And I feel like a lot of people, they get out of school with rose-colored glasses, hopefully they have like their
Mm.
first job and they're ready to be on their own fully. And then all of a sudden society and pressure kicks in. And
Yeah.
that's when it all starts to unravel.
So that didn't kick in for you until then. Nothing in high school. You were fine for
I
the
was
most.
fine. I was like, I'm gonna make it. I'm a badass.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna leave this town behind. I'm gonna leave you people in the dust, even though you're all still gonna be my friends. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
I was
Oh,
ready to go. And you know what's funny is my dad used to always call me the lucky one because things would always go my way. My brother struggled a little more. Now he's doing great. But I think I look back and I remember like wanting to, get a job on Wall Street and like be a trader or be an investment banker. And at the time, like I went to a really top business school, but it wasn't Harvard, right? It wasn't the Ivy League schools. And that's where they were
right.
primarily hiring out of.
Right.
And I was like, no, I'm career counselor was like, we're gonna have to really get this resume. Like grades are good, but like you're competing with the and I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, let's do it. Like, I'll do what I need to do. But I just and then I got it. And then I moved to New York. They paid for me to relocate to New York, which was great, and everything was fine. And then after I realized I'm like, oh, this isn't my dream. And I
Right.
decided to start making some moves purely based on money, not passion.
Right.
Um, is when things started to unravel and I wasn't so lucky anymore. And when I
Right.
started my awakening in like my mid to late 30s, I looked back and I'm like, what was my mindset and my confidence like at that point when everything seemed to go my way? And
Right.
it was this inherent belief and identity that it was mine no matter what anyone said. And
Mm.
somehow in my 20s, I lost that.
Mm.
And it was always and not realizing how much your identity and your thoughts are creating your reality.
Yeah.
And so I was a master manifester, but this is what people don't talk about. You can also manifest what you don't want. And
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
exactly what I was doing,
Right.
you know?
Because what you
And
think about expands.
yes, and then it became a safety net, like in relationships where I would just literally play out like when it ends, just
Right.
so it would be this safety thing of, being able to handle it when it comes.
Yeah.
And just this, all and a lot of the language I used to use too was I'll be happy when. Like,
Exactly.
why the
You're not
fuck can I
alone.
be happy now?
Yeah.
So this is amazing what you're doing. And yeah, it's like getting with the kids, but don't forget about those kids that just graduated,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
that's usually
Oh,
where
100%. At all of
drama
that.
begins.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, we're talking about mindset and the importance of strengthening that. It can really take you out. There are so many techniques to help us stay
Yeah.
in and stay connected, but the body is what people are missing. The body set, the body, the mental attitude is the mindset. And body set is the physical and emotional state that informs the mind. And our bodies know before our minds. It's that gut knowing. That's where that
Yes.
somatic intelligence really comes into play. And that's that deep gut. It's like knowing when you walk into a room and something feels off, and you
Hmm.
know it because your body tells you, or you're not in the right relationship anymore and you're too afraid. That's where the mind goes, how are you going to survive? Are you going to be okay? How are you going to do this? But your body is telling you this isn't right. So it's this constant battle, people say, but I really invite the conversation, really allowing the mind to be a part of the conversation, not shaming it and saying, why do I feel this way? She feels this way. I wish I was as strong. I wish I was. Why aren't I that? It's really just like calming the mind, befriending the mind so that we can really hear what's going on inside of ourselves.
Yeah, no, that's very well said. Because also it's like the nervous system.
Yeah.
There's a lot where, there's all these like tips and tricks to manifest and what you need to
Yeah.
think and like little things to listen to and
Yeah.
affirmations. But if your body, your nervous system isn't relaxed, like you
Totally.
can't get to a frequency and it's all like energy. So I think that what you're doing is so critical because it's like, let's focus on the body
Let's
because
focus on the
that
body and how we
plays
listen to the
in.
body. I'm sorry, what did I cut you off?
No, 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 go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to say, you just touched on the point. It's like if the nervous system is hijacked, there's no way we can have the clarity to know what we need to do. And
Yeah.
certainly we don't have the confidence to go do what we need to do. So, how do we calm the nervous system? Is my practice, the power of gesture. So, it's a body
Yes.
set practice, it's a somatic based practice, soma, the body, everything related to the body. So, we use our hands. It's really fascinating and it works. It works. Can I tell you a little bit about the
Yes, I
gesture?
want to
Okay.
know because I'm like, wow.
I know. I want to definitely like do a session with you so you could try it.
Yes.
It is incredible. So what happened was during the pandemic, everything shut down, everyone's at home, and it was just a horrendous, scary time for so many. And our talk about our nervous system being hijacked, it was just completely out of whack. Now, I was coming from 40 years of research around the multiple forms of intelligence, my own struggle back to my worthiness, and having been a dance educator for 30 years and working with children and teachers. Like I understood the body, I understood the power of the body, and I knew I could help, but I didn't know what I was going to do. I just decided to show up. So I
Yeah.
started asking people to meet me on Zoom and see if I could take them through this practice of what I was imagining would be of support. And everyone was bored. So everybody said yes. And so I I met with people from all over the world. It was like right time, right place. So I got to experience every type of person. It was incredible. And what I would do is say, what are your talk about what they were feeling and then ask them to embody their emotions with their hands. And the reason I asked them to embody the emotions with their hands was because I wanted them to stay close to the camera so I could feel the energy as best as possible. This wasn't a dance thing. I didn't want them like up and, dancing. I wanted them to stay close so I could feel the connection. And one thing led to another. And so, for example, let's just say someone was feeling anxious and they might put their fists in, really curl their fists and squeeze and shake. And then I would guide them into the release, and their hands then would open up. And the whole energy, the angst, the worry, the lonely, it would just dissipate. So I was watching this like contraction to expansion in when I say thousands of gestures, I'm not kidding. I mean, because you create your own in this practice, but I was seeing the most incredible transformation and I didn't know why people were releasing their worry into like clarity and their angst into calm. I mean, it was unbelievable. So I started doing the research as to why this was working and I had no idea of the powerful connection between the brain and the hands. No idea. We take it for granted. No one's talking about
Wow.
this.
Well, is that why some people will be into like tapping?
Oh, yeah. The hands, kinesthetic
Okay.
intelligence, our physical body, Then the emotional intelligence, we're connecting to our emotions. And then that somatic deep knowing. So yes, the tapping, that's all part of it. So the
Wow.
gestures do a similar thing. So the gestures really calm the nervous system because they're talking to the brain and then create that clarity to then go do what we need to do. But it is profound. And the gestures are so extraordinary, so beautiful because they're individual. I guide people into their own. And what I've seen, it's like art. Honestly, it's like choreography. It's so
Oh my
beautiful. You
gosh.
don't even need to stand on your feet. It's just, it's using your hands. It's amazing. So I feel blessed that this power of
Yeah.
gesture came through me during the pandemic. And now it sits at the center of everything I do.
So if somebody is like somebody listening right now is
Yeah.
feeling nervous, just kind of at maybe a transition period of their life or
Right.
just worried, just anxious,
Yeah.
like what would you tell them to do right now while they're listening?
Yeah. The
If they're
first thing I would say is body set. So body set is placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and just close your eyes. So the minute you feel worried, doubt, whatever, just say to yourself, it's like a shift. Body set. Hands on your body, close your eyes. Then I invite really connecting with the feeling and where it is in your body. So just noticing. That's all you need to do. If that's the only thing you do, that's progress because so many people bypass and just go into the shame and why am I feeling this way and I don't want to. So body set and notice, period. Then after that, embody the emotion with your hands. So if you're feeling this like upset in your stomach, let's say your stomach is just flipping out because of
yeah,
whatever situation. I don't know if this is audio or both video, but you could,
both.
okay, both. So your hands could like shake. Maybe your hands are shaking near your stomach because that's where you're feeling it. Then transform that energy into what you want. So allow your hands to move out so the energy dissipates. It doesn't stay there. The reason we do
Oh,
the first gesture is to honor the emotion. The reason that worry, pain, whatever that is, shame gets louder is because we don't give it an opportunity to speak. It's like talking to a child, giving them a moment to say, all right, I hear you. I feel you. You're safe. You're with me. We're going to be okay. Then envision that calm, joyful space and create the gesture that allows it to move through. And then return back to the angst again. And you flow back and forth. It becomes a conversation between these parts of ourselves. Instead of trying to get rid of it, we invite it all in because it's wisdom.
yeah.
It's wisdom within us that we need to learn about instead of push away. That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
So anxiety really starts with like one thought that spirals out of control, moves to the body, because it doesn't start usually in the body. It'll start with something you're worried about or thinking about or not.
Potentially, yeah. It's those
Okay.
subconscious thoughts that are not conscious. It's those that old conditioning.
Which runs our entire life.
Exactly. Exactly. Regardless of where it starts, yes, a lot of it is in the mind, right? Because it's old patterns and old thoughts
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
condition us to believe what we believe. So wherever it comes from, we know if something feels good and we know if something doesn't. And so it's about just paying attention. But I also start with the joy. If you're like having a great time, if you're out with your friends or you're just,
Yeah.
then I invite, let's elevate that even more. Body set, notice where you feel that your heart is excited, embody that gesture and elevate it even more. So we're not always starting in the doom and gloom. We're also starting in a joyful, happy place to elevate that energy even more.
Yeah, no, I mean that's amazing because there's just so many things that it's like when you're talking like going back to where, all the things in the past where you've picked up a gut feeling and you didn't follow it.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
How many
And
times
now
have you
it's
done
like
that?
now I do. But then it's
Right.
like, well, is your mind playing tricks on you? Is your body playing tricks on you?
Yeah.
But no, it's you're usually kind of spot on. But yeah,
Yeah.
because you can't like manifest or change, your reality in a state of you know, anxiety.
Right.
Like if your
Yeah. You
nervous
got to
system
calm the
is like
nervous
completely
system.
just, yeah. So,
Absolutely.
so is that a trick too to calm the nervous system, like hand on the heart and then just,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
just kind of, so you're just kind of like holding your hand in your gut. And
Yep.
then as you feel it, just kind of opening naturally, just to
Absolutely.
kind of
So
like pull it out.
you can pull it out exactly what you're doing like that. And also I
Okay.
like closing the eyes because then it really kind of quiets the noise that's around you. So yes, in the body set position and just holding it there is great and feel into the angst that is existing within you. If you want to embody that angst with a gesture, do it. Or like you just did, keep your hands here on body set and then bring your hands out. I had a very interesting experience just 2 nights ago with this one of my clients. She was feeling very resistant was her word. She was just like, I'm just feeling very resistant. I'm feeling stuck. I feel like I just can't breathe. I
Yeah.
invited her to notice where that was. She said, I feel it in my throat. I said, great, let's
Mm.
put our hand. Can you put your hand here just gently on your throat? She
Yeah,
did,
I just,
right?
yeah.
Like this, just honoring the stuckness, not getting rid of it yet, not trying to just get it out, but really just sending it love. Like, I've got you. I'm here. We're going to be okay. That inner dialogue is very important. Then I asked her to place her other hand on top of that hand and just caress her hand
Interesting.
because we never do that. We never give ourselves that kind of affection. She literally, I'm not kidding. She was like, oh my God, my jaw is relaxing. My
Wow.
breath is releasing. And then she was able to bring that energy out with her hands. And then she was like, no, no, it's coming back. I said, bring it back, right? Honor, caress, honor. So the hands are the most incredible tool we have to calm the nervous system and to get us into that aligned, empowered state.
Wow, that's amazing.
Isn't
So,
it?
so when you do like manifestation work to like get what you want, are
Yeah.
you starting with the body and then the mind?
Yes.
Okay,
Definitely the
so
body and then the mind.
okay, so when you're getting into that visualization state of,
Exactly.
visualizing what you really want to the
Yep.
T,
Yes.
um, you're
My
making
body
sure your
set.
body is relaxed before you
Yep.
go into the,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I'll body set. I'll have my eyes closed. This morning, my logo are birds, right? And I see birds everywhere because it's all about the elevation. And I have this three-part process that I take people through: embody, empower, elevate. And elevate
Yeah.
is like birds are just, go. And I got birds all over my body, tattooed everywhere.
Oh my
Not
gosh, I love
really, three places. But anyway,
it.
the point is, this morning, I did exactly what you just said. Got it. I use music too, like just some beautiful meditation music.
Yeah.
I body set, closed my eyes. I saw those birds just flying so beautifully, so graceful. And then I allowed my hands to just open up and almost like hold the birds and then come back to my body. I mean, it's incredible. It's one thing to meditate and to really use the mind to visualize. And then it's another to embody the state that you want to be in.
Yeah, no, it's so true because it's like,
Yeah.
stepping into that identity or that state of mind or that
Right. And
feeling.
you've done a
It's
lot of
really
that.
the feeling.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
feeling. Exactly.
Yeah. Because when I was working for Bob Proctor's company and
Hmm.
coaching people, it was a lot of like you could think it all you wanted, but if you didn't feel it, like, so that was like the body,
Yes.
like you've got to like feel it everywhere.
You've got to feel it. I don't believe that you can manifest unless you feel it. You've got to feel that high
Yeah.
vibration because that's what connects to
The
spirit,
frequency. Yeah.
universe, whatever you want to call it, right? That's the energy that goes out there. Did you ever read The Secret?
Of course, that's how I
Yeah.
first discovered Bob and all those guys.
Oh my
So that's
God,
why when they
amazing.
reached out to me, I was like, wait, what?
Wait, that's incredible. Yes. So law of
Yeah,
attraction, that's what it's all
yeah,
about, right?
yeah.
I was just going to say Wayne Dyer, I'm forgetting who he quoted, but he said something, Goddard, the last
Neville, yeah.
Goddard, right. And he said, assume the feelings of the wish fulfilled.
Yep.
And I love that because that's exactly what we're talking about. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So beautiful.
Yeah. And sometimes I remember at the beginning, like I struggled with that
Yeah,
because I was like, I just imagine like, okay, if somebody put like $20 million into my bank account, like how would I feel?
right.
And what I first noticed was that I felt anxious
Mm.
because I thought, well, I can't keep that. I've got to make sure I've got the right advisors. I have her, but should I? But not.
Wow.
So it was all this. And I was like, wait a second, that's the
Right.
noise that's
Right.
blocking it.
Yeah.
And so I was able to identify
Mm.
that and then realize, like, okay, like I don't have to worry anymore. Everything's going to be taken care of.
Wow.
Like money is abundant, it flows to me. And
Mm.
now I can do more to help other people because I have
Yeah.
the resources. I can invest in businesses that change, so it was really not, but
Wow.
that's what I think happens to a lot of people is
Yeah.
they sit there and they say, I want to make all this money,
Yeah.
but then they don't do it because what's happening to me at first is very similar is the body would start to panic
Yeah.
to where you felt anxious, like, how am I going to hold on to this? Where am I going to put it? How do I make sure it's invested correctly? Am I going to be around the right people? And that's like, I think majority of people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also like their identity, like this was a big thing too, Bob taught me was like your identity determines your income. So you can
Hmm.
sit there and be like, oh, I want to make millions of dollars. But if your identity or your thermostat set at like 100 grand, it's very difficult to get past that. You might get a little past that, but then your bills will go up. So it's
Mm.
really becoming the identity of somebody who makes what you're making. And
Yeah.
dressing like it, talking like it, handling stress like it is a big one,
Yeah. Big time.
because we have unexpected things that come up. How would somebody with that income or that life handle this, not
Live
how
your life.
you
Yeah.
would handle it? And so it's really different because, yeah, it does all start in the body, but they tend to talk about the mind more.
Yeah, exactly. And what you're saying, I mean, the body, when you reacted in those ways, it was that programming in your mind
Mhm.
hijacking you, saying, wait, how am I going to deal? I got to get all these people to help me with the money. Da, da, da.
Yeah,
And then your body got sick about it. Right.
yeah,
So it's that mind that can play. But when we develop a relationship with the mind, and be kind to it and set no judgment, zero judgment. It's just like, I understand you. I understand, for me, my story, I understand that you were conditioned when you were younger. You didn't know any better, that were so many layers of intelligence. It's okay that you
yeah,
believe this, but we're going to work together. And it's this inner dialogue. It is so important. It is truly like talking to your best friend or your child. It's just being kind to yourself. And so many people are not. And I get that because I wasn't either for a very long time. But when I started being kind to myself and showing that emotional intelligence, that empathy, that
yeah.
compassion towards myself, those voices relaxed, which created the space for me to bring in new beliefs and this new identity. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. But yeah, it's like you have to just be in that relaxed state. And it's hard
Yeah.
because like you're probably one that meditates. I don't like meditation.
Yeah. What do you do?
I just I don't know what I
You're
think
funny.
yeah, I just think of like I just watch my thoughts and I'll
Yeah.
breathe or
That's a form of
I don't know.
meditation.
I need to meditate, but it's like it just I even put it in my first book. I'm like, I hate meditation. Like people say go
Yeah.
meditate, and I say go fuck yourself.
Right.
But I think that there's other ways you can
A
do it
100%
by
there are.
listening to nice music, to just kind of, just sitting down and relaxing. So there are other ways, but I do feel that I probably would benefit from meditation, so I might go to a guided meditation.
Yeah,
But
guided is great. And
yeah,
to your point, though, it's so important that people know that's not the only path. That's why part of
no.
the reason I created the power of gesture is because I struggled just sitting there meditating. I found my thoughts were, so now
I
my hands are involved. And so now I'm kind of like really in it because I'm using my hands. So that's really helped me. But to your point, listening to music, taking a walk in nature, like there's so many ways to get into that meditative, peaceful place.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole point of meditation is just to calm the mind,
Yeah,
to then help calm the body.
exactly.
Because it all and let's talk about like disease.
Yeah.
How
Oh my
people can
gosh.
make themselves sick. So I like a body and always in panic and fight or flight, is going to be more likely to breed disease
Oh, 100. And there's
versus,
so many studies
relaxed.
about that. Yes.
And people that have healed themselves, it's insane.
Yeah, exactly. Healed themselves through the power of the mind and
Hmm.
meditation and body set when people start talking about that,
Yeah.
that is my hope, that I want body set to be as much of the conversation as mindset. It just makes total sense, you know?
It makes complete sense. You can't have a good mindset without a good body set. They go hand in hand.
Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. So you gave a great TED talk and you have also written a book. Tell us about the book.
The book is called Your Body is Speaking.
Okay, love
Right.
it.
Makes perfect sense. And it's all about that. And it really, I didn't know I was writing a book, honestly. I was going through a big, big transition in my life,
Uh-huh.
and I was scared. And I had a lot of contemplation and worry and so much angst. I was in a 20-year marriage, and it was
Okay.
a good one. It was a really good marriage, but it
Yeah.
just wasn't meant to be the person. He wasn't meant to be in my life for the rest of my life. But 20 years, incredible, two
Yeah.
beautiful children. It was a chapter. It was amazing. But society, right? It's like society doesn't
Hmm.
reward or celebrate that kind of clarity and honesty and vulnerability. It's more like, oh, I'm sorry you didn't make it. And it's like, no,
Mm.
I did make it. We had a beautiful life. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it was easy for him. And I certainly am not saying it was easy for me. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And it came with a lot of grief and a lot of pain. So I started journaling and writing, but my body, and I was reflecting a lot on the journey of getting to that point of being able to actually do it. My body had been speaking to me for a lot of years, and much of which I ignored. I was just like, no, no. Or the fear and the conditioning. What are you going to do? Are you kidding me? You can't leave this, because we had such a good thing. I mean, it was beautiful on so many levels. And so I went through all of that. So I started journaling and writing, and then my closest friend was like, okay, this is a book. People need to hear about the body, and the body speaking it,
Yeah.
empower them to listen. So it took 3 years, because the first year and a half was just journaling. And then it wound up becoming a book. And I'm really proud of it. And there's a lot of stories in there, on my reflection of my life and when I listened to my body and when I didn't. There's a lot of client stories in there. There's a lot of research and science. And it feels really good. I'm really happy that I did it. And then after I completed the book, it was kind of like, oh, all right, this message around body set and mindset and the relationship between both and how we need that to make these kinds of decisions, aligned decisions in our life.
Yeah.
Um, I was like, oh, maybe I should talk about this. And this woman invited me into this application process with the TED, and I applied, and it was amazing. It
That's
was such a
awesome.
beautiful experience, and that happened in August. So last
So
year was a big one.
did you write your TED Talk before you applied, or you were just like, let's see if I get in and then I'll put it together?
Well, I mean, I had a lot of it in my mind, but then I had met this guy at an event that I spoke at, but he was like the keynote. We totally
Yeah.
hit it off, and he was a TEDx like extraordinaire. He's done two of them, and they both did so well. So I was like, if I get the TED, I'm going to go and work with him, and I did. And I flew to him in Tennessee, and I worked with him for 3 straight days, and he truly got my talk out of me. He got, that part when I'm like dancing.
Yeah.
He was like, you need to bring that in. I'm like, oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
I don't mind. I'll bring it in. And we really connected the dots. I'll just share one other thing about the TEDx. It was really interesting. I had this whole outfit planned. Talk about listening to your body. I had this whole outfit planned, and I was like, yeah, feeling good. But then before I went on, I was like, I do not want to be wearing this, especially these boots that I had on. I want to be grounded on the floor, and I want to put my
Yeah.
clothes on. So I asked the woman that was running the event, and I was like, can I go barefoot out onto the stage? And she goes, fuck yeah. So I was so grateful. So I put my street clothes on. I went out there barefoot, and it just felt so good. It felt so good.
That's amazing. How big was the audience for yours?
It was like 500 people. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the biggest crowd you had spoken to?
I've spoken to, not with the power of gesture and the work that I'm doing now, but when I was a dance educator, I worked in schools and theaters and put together a lot of stuff. So in front of, the most was probably a couple thousand people that I spoke in front of. Um, so yeah, but doing this work, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
I've got
fun.
two talks coming up that I'm very excited about, and there's going to be a lot of people at both. And it's
That's
not
great.
about the, quantity of people, though. It's really about the types, and I'm really excited to bring this work to those communities.
Yeah, I just think it's so great what you're doing because not enough people talk about the body set.
Thank you.
Um, and they wonder why my manifestations don't work. I don't feel great. Da, 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 da.
Right.
It's like, you're forgetting a key element of that. So thank you for bringing that,
Oh my gosh. Thank you
topic to
for
everybody's
seeing the value.
awareness.
What's
Yeah, of
that?
course. Yeah, of course. But no, I think it's important that people know this because you can't use what you don't know.
Absolutely. And I have stuff I'll give you to give to your guests. I have this free download. I really love it. It's just a 5-day journey, super simple, like easy.
Well, tell them where they can find you and then where they can get that.
Yep. So I'll send it to you and maybe you'll put it in the show notes or
Nope,
something. And
just
then,
stick it. Yeah, I can probably do that, but even stick it on your website
oh, yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
It's on
And
my
then
website.
yeah, we'll
Yep.
tell them
Yeah.
where they can find you. So
I'm
what's your
going to tell
website?
you. I love it. So my website is www.genx.com and it's right there. And
And
my
it's AKS, Gen X.
AKS. Yep.
It almost sounds like Gen X.
I
Like
know.
the
It's funny. My whole life, I wanted someone to call me Jax, Gen
Yeah.
X, Jax. And like everybody loved it. Whenever I told people, hey, you want to call me Jax? I'd love you to call me Jax. They'd be like, oh my God, that's the perfect name for you. Well, now at 54, I'm in this relationship. And a couple of years ago, we started dating. And he's like, I really want to call you something. I can't like figure out. I'm like, well, there's this nickname that I've wanted my whole life. And then when I told him, he was like, that's it. So he calls me Jax.
Oh,
And I love it. So anybody that wants
that's
to call
so
me
cute.
Jax, call me Jax. Anyway, so it's genax.com. And then the download is there. It teaches you the body set in such a simple way. Very, very simple. And then you can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the things. Yeah.
That's amazing. Amazing. So yeah, you guys definitely go check out her TED Talk,
TEDx. Yeah,
TEDx
thank
Talk,
you.
and also do the download and follow her.
You're
So
amazing.
yes, so are
I can't
you.
wait to
Thank
have
you
more
so much.
conversations with you and hear about your journey even more.
Yes, absolutely. We'll do this again. We'll do this again in person in
Yes,
Nashville. Got to
absolutely.
get your butt down here, which would be fun.
I
So
will. I'm coming.
okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who is listening, wherever you may be. We will see you next time to find out who's next.
Hey, your host here, Madison Malloy. Please make sure to subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms and please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@nexttomadison.com. I thank you again for listening. Bye.